Today I have a really cool way to do spells for witches who are in the broom closet that includes the elements of earth, air, fire, and water, and just looks like pretty room decor. I'm using a simple oil burner as a mini altar that's perfect for my witches in the broom closet, or for you busy witches like me who just want to whip up some quick, no fuss, no muss magic. You can use this method for all kinds of spells, but today, because it seems like prices are going up everywhere, we're gonna do a money spell. Coming up next. Welcome to the Witch's Studio. I am, of course, Mickie Mueller, author, illustrator, and witch, not necessarily in that order. And I'm so glad to be back bringing you some witchy fun. I've got spells, witchy tips, and tricks, plus lots of DIYs here on my channel. So if that piques your interest, you're in the right place. If you haven't yet, you'll thank yourself if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you'll always find your way back to my witch's studio. Well, I often have too many things going on at one time, and I'm kind of just a YouTube assassin. You never know when I'll strike. So hitting that notification bell is the best way to be among the first to catch my new video as soon as I post it. I wanted to share this easy method for a mini altar that can be left in plain sight. We're using one of these simple little oil burner, wax melt warmer thingies. I got both this one and the one I've got going back here at Dollar Tree. A friend of mine from ages ago named Darlene suggested this, and I love the idea so much that I've made it part of my regular practice. You can include candle magic in this one. Use your moon water. There's room for a few stones. It incorporates herbs, essential oils, and best of all, it's budget friendly and easy peasy. I'll show you how to use these to cast spells that are totally incognito and under the radar of anyone who sees it. This little altar will keep all your witchcraft secrets. These little things are made out of clay or ceramic, which is a kind of clay. Clay is harvested from the ground and is made from the decomposition of rocks and soil. I've also seen them carved out of stone. So this whole thing right here is your earth element energy. My dog's barking like mad. FedEx is here bringing some more garden flags so that we can get some more orders done. So I better go take care of that. Okay, so yeah, some people have a doorbell with a camera. We have a dog who lets us know when things have arrived. Just like I thought it was, that was the blank garden flags that we were waiting on so that we can get some more garden flag orders out and shipped off to happy customers. So back to the spell. So because this is literally made out of earth, this is your earth element part of your little mini altar. Earth energy brings in stability, strength, and endurance to your spell work. Next, there's a spot below here for a tea light candle. I call this the hearth of the mini altar because when you add a candle, it's a little like a fireplace. We love those little tea light candles, and I have a video up here with a couple different ways to use tea lights, and you can use all of the methods that I talk about in this video to work spells in a mini altar like this one. The addition of a candle to any spell awakens and calls in the fire element to your little spell altar. The element of fire represents transformation, willpower, and courage. Next, we have this top part, which I call the cauldron, because it's heated from the hearth below, and it creates a brew of sorts to add energy to your spell. You can use spring water, moon water, rain water, or even just tap water or bottled water. In witchcraft, water is often used for blessing and cleansing, and it can also dissolve any obstacles that are in your path and brings emotion into your spell. The element of air is so ineffable. It's hard to sense because it's colorless and it's invisible, but it's around us all the time. That's why sound and scent are often associated with air, because sound and scent are carried in the air. And it's something that we can more easily notice with our five senses. When we add either herbs or essential oils to the water on top, when it's heated by the candle, it will release the scent into the air, and air carries the scent of your spell around the room that you're working in. Air is also associated with communication, intellect, and wisdom. So you can see that by using one of these little oil burners, you're combining all of the powers of the elements of earth, air, fire, and water, along with your own intention, of course. And anyone who looks at it, it just looks like you're making the room smell nice. So no one is going to question it as being witchcraft. It's also a quick and easy way to cast a spell that you can make as bare bones or as elaborate as you wish. I wanted to show you this neat little vessel in action. You can use this for all kinds of spells by changing your oils, candle colors, herbs, and intentions. Today I'm going to share a quickie money spell. I do have a love spell and a spell to charge your protection jewelry that I'll share in future videos. As a quick guide, I'm going to refer to Deborah Blake's book, The Eclectic Witch's Book of Shadows, which I illustrated, and Deborah and I recently won the cover award for Best Book Illustrations in 2022. And she has a quick reference for correspondences in the back. So I'm just checking out that section on money. So I just love a chance to use my Eclectic Witch's Book of Shadows. You can also find correspondences for any spells you might be working in most magical books that you would have on hand. If you're really new or you don't have any magical books, you can certainly just use the search engine and type in magical correspondences for money spells or for love spells as a quick reference. And those things will come up. But as you can see here, she's got some really simple correspondences. It makes it really easy. I'm using a white candle for this spell. If you want to use a green candle, you can also do that. We need something to carve a rune into the top of the candle. I'm using a leftover stick from an incense stick, but a toothpick or a nail also works just fine. She lists several runes. The one I'm going to use is Fihu. As you can see, I go in and drew it in my book because this book has space for you to add your own notes to it. If you do this spell, you do not have to use that symbol. If you have a different money symbol that you like even a $sign, you can use that. You can change this spell to make it work for you. It's nice to use a symbol because many symbols represent whole big concepts. So I'm grabbing some basil out of my kitchen. It's a great herb for money magic, and that is one of the herbs that Deborah Blake mentions in the back of her book. I'm just sending my energy into the herb, programming it, telling it we're doing money magic today. Now I have some dill. This is dill that I grew in my arrow garden. I'm going to use that. You can also use jar dill. All herbs have multiple properties, so it's important to awaken the property that you want to work with within that herb. And there are many herbs that are used for money magic. You don't have to use the same herbs that I used. These were just what I had on hand. But I want you to adjust this and make it your own. And there's our candle dressed and ready to go. I'm using moon water for this spell, but you don't have to use moon water. You can also use tap water, bottled water, rainwater, water from a water fountain at your local bank would be great. And if you want to know more about moon water, I have a video about that. I'll leave the link right up top there. The oil I chose is peppermint oil because that is another money corresponding herb. This one is from Dollar Tree and it has a carrier oil, which is almond oil, which is also great for money spells. Now this one has one of those roller balls. It's really easy to just pop that off using a butter knife. Just put it off to the side. I've put it in the lid. That way I don't forget to put it back on the bottle because I have spilled oils that way thinking the roller ball was still in there when it wasn't. And it just takes a couple of drops right there in the water. Pop the roller ball back in. And yeah, you can use more expensive oil than the stuff from Dollar Dollar Tree, but I wanted to use this one to show you that you don't have to have a lot of money to practice witchcraft. Now I'm using 3/4, and I'm going to rotate this around so that I have access to not only the cauldron part on top, but the hearth there at the bottom. Now I'm going to dip each quarter into the water and peppermint oil, blessing and cleansing them and connecting them with the spell. Next, I'll be placing each one of the quarters inside the hearth area of the oil burner. And you can put them towards the back of it, and that way anybody who would walk by wouldn't notice that there were quarters in there. I'm going to use a tiger eye, which is another one of the prosperity correspondences that Deborah lists in her book. I think this big one is the one that I actually used as a reference to illustrate that with. But I'm just going to use this little tiny chip one because it's going to be in my wallet and I don't want to scratch up my nice tiger eye. Plus it's easier just to put a small one in. Next, the candle goes in the hearth section and we're going to go ahead and light it. Now again, with stones, there's lots of stones that are really good for using for prosperity magic. You don't have to use a tiger eye if you don't have one. See what you have and use that. Now I have an incantation that goes with this that you would repeat in order to fill it with your intention and basically tell the spell what you want it to do. You don't have to say it out loud. You can say it in your head. You can whisper it if you want to. Any way that you want to do this is fine. Money comes from far and wide on silver threads from what I buy. I open a path that flows to me, silver, gold, and folding currency. As you repeat this in your mind or out loud, hold up your hands nearby and envision your energy, your intention flowing from your hands and into the spell. The most important part of any spell is you, your belief, your intention, and the energy that you put into it. It's got much less to do with the things than it has to do with your own spirit. Now, if you just leave this sit anywhere on a shelf, it doesn't look like witchcraft. It doesn't look suspicious at all. So if you're in the broom closet, you should be good to go. And if you're just a witch in a hurry, everything is contained within this spell. One of the things that I will stress is when you're using one of these for any kind of spell or any time at all, really, make sure that you keep an eye on the cauldron part of this oil burner because the candle really evaporates that water quite quickly. So you're going to want to keep refilling that if it needs it, if you see that it's getting low. I usually have to refill mine 2 or 3 times to just top it up. But a tea light candle only burns about 4 hours. So if you just check it like once an hour to make sure that you don't need to add some more water to it, then that's fine. Okay, so once the spell is complete, all you need to do is just pull your tea light candle out, grab your quarters. There they are, all enchanted and magicked up, and your tiger eye. And you get your wallet and find a little place in the wallet if you don't have a coin purse area like I do, and drop your quarters and the tiger eye right inside there. I'll tell you how to use them in a minute. You can literally just fold that little tin up and just chuck it. The spell is done. It's no longer a spell element. That water from your money spell, you can pour that across your threshold and it will help draw money into your home. When you spend the coins, imagine that there's a silver thread that goes from your coin to the tiger's eye in your wallet. The energy of the money will flow back along that thread as the coin is passed into the cash register, into the bank, and with every transaction that that coin is involved in, more and more flows back along that silver thread in your direction, opening up an endless flow. Keep the tiger eye in your wallet to represent where the silver thread of money goes to. When I spend those magic coins from this spell, I like to take them to a big box store to spend them there, or any really, really successful business, because that money is going to be included in a lot more money faster and it's going to end up in the bank, and it's recirculated and recirculated and recirculated. And the more that money gets recirculated, the more energy comes back to the tiger eye that's in your wallet. So I like to spend that money in a store that is super successful. I hope that you new witches and broom closeted witches and busy witches find this one as useful as I have. And as promised, here's the version of this spell that does not use a candle but uses electricity instead. And yes, it works just as well. So you're going to do this spell exactly the same way that we did the other one, with the oil and the water and the quarters. You're going to dip them in the water, and all the same thing, only you're going to use an electric tea light instead of a flame candle. Trace the sigil or the rune that you use in the air over the top of the candle. You can sprinkle herbs on top if you want, or you can just pop the herbs inside of the hearth and put the candle on top. These candles do not generate heat, but what they do is they do burn energy, so it still represents the element of fire. The oil will still scent the air. It will be lightly, but it will scent the air, and there you go. After that, just follow these same instructions at the end of the spell. Spend your quarters and manifest that money. Do you want me to share more spells using this method? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to share this video with your witchy friends. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed and cast a spell on the notification bell so you'll magically know as soon as I upload a new video. Thanks again for visiting me here. I have a few more videos that I think you might enjoy. I'll see you next time. Until then, I hope that you stay safe, happy, and healthy. And remember, as always, to be your magic. Bye, everybody.